Hey everyone, and welcome back to another edition of Natty's Nook. If you're a first timer and you're watching my video for the very first time, thank you from the bottom of my heart for clicking on this video to watch it. If you end up liking the video that you're watching right now, you can do one of three things. You can do a comment below in the comment section, good or bad feedback, anything's welcome. You can also put a like on this video. Just click the little heart button or the little thumbs up or whatever YouTube has for hitting like, and just show me that you like this one review. Or if you end up going back and watching my previous ones to get a better idea of who I am and you end up liking those too, you can hit subscribe and this will get you in the loop for all of the videos past, present, and future. So if you'd like, you can do any of those three things, none of them, all of them, 2, 3 of them. You know what? It doesn't matter to me. But I'm very glad you're here. I'm very, very excited to bring you All This Time, which is a killer romance inspired by Love Month. February brings the month of Valentine's and love is in the air. So I'm so excited to get to bring you All This Time. I do want to address one thing for my returning subscribers. You're probably wondering, why has my background changed? Because I usually record in a different place. It's just a change of scenery. It's a little more colorful, a little bit more bright. So I hope you enjoy this little new environment slash background slash whatever you call it, is set. And without further ado, I have nothing else for the intro. So without further ado, let's get started. All right, everyone, so now that my intro is out of the way, we get to dive into this beauty that's possibly sitting on your shelves. It's called All This Time. It's kind of hard to see the cover in the lighting that we have here, but if it looks something like this, you're picking up the right book to read. So All This Time is a phenomenal romance that I just picked up a few months ago. This one was so good that I actually read this in an ebook format, and I didn't get the hard copy until a few weeks ago, and I'm so happy to review this one for you because I definitely think it's worth your eyes. This one has a 4.0 star rating on Goodreads, literally on point. It's exactly where you want to be with the ratings. You've got some really interesting viewers rating this book, and you've got some really educated readers reviewing this one. So if you happen to go check out the reviews on All This Time, you might find a little bit of both. It's written by Mickey Daughtry and Rachel Lippincott, and I will get into a little bit later why the two authors actually stuck out to me when picking this one up off the shelves. But before we do that, let's just give you a slight plot synopsis. This one is basically about a guy named Kyle. Kyle is a senior at his high school. He's about to go off to college with his longtime girlfriend, Kimberly. Basically, the whole rundown of the book is he gets into this fight with his girlfriend at this senior event that he's at. And basically, they are on their way back to Kimberly's house. He's going to drop her off, and hopefully everything will work out in the relationship. But that they don't have the time to work out because Kyle actually wrecks the car and gets them both almost killed. Kimberly ends up getting killed. So now Kyle is left to kind of wallow in his sorrows and move forward at some time. So he meets this girl named Marley. Marley is probably the cutest human being ever to be written in a book. She's probably one of my all-time favorite characters. And Marley is this character for Kyle that's not just this popular queen, but she's got her own little flair in the book that you can really start to see as you turn the pages. And there's a little bit of a spark that's flying between Kyle and Marley. So the question is, basically, as Kyle and Marley's past start to kind of intertwine a little bit and they kind of start to see each other's pain, you gotta wonder if the relationship's gonna last. So All This Time is a great read to start picking up. Highly recommend it. A couple of quick things on this book that I found very interesting. One, I feel like the plot line was very unique compared to other romance novels. It feels like it's a lot of the romances that are out right now are the love at first sight ones. And quite frankly, if some of you know me personally, I don't believe in love at first sight. I feel like you have to get to know the person before you actually fall in love, which is why sometimes it's silly reading romances nowadays. But this one had an interesting occurrence when it came to how the love was portrayed and how much it meant to the characters in the novel. So this type of love was actually made for a very good novel. So I thought the plotline did a great job of making the romance just shine. I did pick up on quite a few profanity words, which I'm not usually a huge fan of. But for this one, the plotline was good enough that I was able to overlook it. But I do want to warn you, there is a little bit of profanity in this novel, so just watch your eyes as you start to read. If you have to skip over a few words just to avoid the big crash and burn that they kind of give off sometimes. That's what you have to do with this one. And then the third thing I'm going to say about this book is I actually picked this one up because of the two authors. The two authors are Mickey Daughtry and Rachel Lippincott, and if you know me well enough, you know that Rachel Lippincott wrote another novel called 5 Feet Apart, and for a while that was probably my favorite book of all time. That was one about two kids with cystic fibrosis that fell in love, but if they basically like did anything but come in between the 6 feet apart rule, they would probably kill each other. So it's a tense romance. But the same author wrote this one, so it's relatively new. And I'm really I was really excited to read this one, and you'll see a little bit of the 5 Feet Apart nuances in All This Time as well. So if you're a fan of 5 Feet Apart, then I think you might be a fan of this one as well. Without question, I give this one a 5-star rating just because I feel like this romance was real and it wasn't just all about the trendiness of a romance nowadays. The romances, like I said, are just kind of, they're kind of flippant. They don't seem like that real anymore. But this one kind of felt like they took two high school kids, like high school, college age children, and they just made their relationship so like understandable and so relatable that it just made the reader really really invested into their story. So definitely this has earned a 5-star in my book, and maybe one day I will get my own copy of this book. This is one of the books that I actually might want to own someday. So anyways, this romance is one that you're going to want to pick up off the shelves. Just a reminder, the profanity is quite present in this one. So if you are a middle school type age, or you know somebody who is, I would suggest probably keeping this to maybe very late middle school to high school, just because the profanity is kind of much in some points. But other than that, this romance is definitely one to sought out, to see, and hold in your hands. I think you're gonna like this one. So that's it for my February review. Stay tuned for just a few announcements at the very end. I hope you enjoyed this Love Month review, this special edition in Addie's Nook, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys! And there you have it. That is my Love Month review of All This Time. I hope you enjoyed this month's review. I hope it struck a chord or it made you want to go pick it up. A few reminders. Like I said before, if you like this certain review, go and like this. You can also go and subscribe if you end up liking my others, or you can drop a comment below. The fourth option that I didn't mention before was I also have an Instagram account up and running. My New Year's resolution was to be more active, and I'm still working on that, so bear with me. But this is going to include some updates, possibly some creative content, and definitely some promos for possibly your reviews and stuff like that. So it's going to be a fun account to follow. It's natties.nook. You can definitely go hit that follow if you want to. No stress if you don't have Instagram, but if you do and you would like to, it is there for your purpose. So that's it. That's all I've got. No announcements. Hope you enjoyed this this lovey, this like kind of XO type review. And I'll see you for a March review on a book that I'm not sure of yet. But I'll see you in March for another Natties Nook review. And until then, happy reading.